Hello, and welcome to the web training for Ray and the Sunbeatables, a sun safety curriculum for preschoolers developed by the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center. My name is Joey Walker, and I'm joined here today with Peter Cribb, and we will be your trainers for the day. We are excited to share the sun safety program with you, and thank you for participating in the training. With your help, we aim to educate preschool center directors, teachers, parents, and children about protecting themselves from the harmful effects of the sun's ultraviolet rays to reduce skin cancer risk. For today's training, we will introduce Ray and the Sunbeatables to you, provide a background on sun safety and skin cancer, discuss the Sunbeatables curriculum toolkit components in detail. We will also discuss strategies on how to involve parents and teachers throughout the curriculum implementation process. And finally, we'll plan some action steps for implementing the curriculum at your site. So, let's meet Ray and the Sunbeatables now. Ray and the Sunbeatables are the main characters, and they represent the overall theme of the curriculum. Sun protection is a superpower. Each of the 5 Sunbeatables has a sun safety superpower. The characters teach children sun safety behaviors and serve as reminders to engage in sun protection every day and everywhere. Ray is the leader. He has the superpower of shade. Ray also wears a magic watch that reminds him to be super protected every day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. when shadows are shorter, the sun is directly overhead, and the sun's rays are most harmful. The next character is Serena. She has the superpower of sunscreen. Next, Chloe has the superpower of protective clothing. Stefan has the superpower of protective sunglasses. And finally, Hannah has the superpower of protective hats. To understand why it's important to start protecting children's skin at an early age and teach preschool kids the concept of sun protection, let's watch a short video.
I think one of the most important things that's come to the forefront for myself and maybe the staff is that skin cancer is the #1 cancer that's diagnosed year after year, and you're seeing more and more cases of that.
Did you know that 1 or more sunburns during childhood doubles the risk of skin cancer? Melanoma is the most dangerous type of skin cancer and one of the most common cancers in adolescents and young adults. The good news? Skin cancer can be prevented. Hi, I'm Lucy. It's important to protect children from the sun year-round and help children develop healthy sun safety habits to reduce their risk of developing skin cancer. Sun safety includes wearing a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses, covering as much skin as possible with long sleeves and pants, applying sunscreen and reapplying it often, and staying in the shade. It's also important to watch your time outdoors midday. When the sun is directly overhead, your shadow is short, and sunburn-causing rays from the sun are most damaging. Let's hear more from preschool center directors and teachers about why they feel it's important to start sun safety at an early age and how they incorporate sun safety into their classroom routines.
I think it's very important to start teaching sun protection at an early age so that the children get into a habit of sun protection. So as they grow older, they have that protection, and we hopefully will prevent some of the skin cancers that we are seeing in the younger adults.
It's important here for us to start the sun safety routine early because we do go outside twice a day in the morning and the afternoon, and we are very limited in shading. So this is when the teachers have the opportunity to explain to the kids why it's important that we dress this way or put our caps or sunglasses on.
Mila, come here, Mila. We're gonna put on your hat, and it protects your head, and then your sunglasses protect your your eyes. High five. You can go sit down. Thank you. Come on, Carlin. All right, let's see. What is this? What does this protect? your head. Your head. And then we're gonna put your sunglasses on so we can protect what? Your eyes. High five, Colin. Good job.
MD Anderson Cancer Center has developed a curriculum to help preschools teach children about sun safety and help teachers communicate the importance of sun safety to parents. Let's listen to preschool center directors and teachers talk about how this curriculum has helped their centers be sun safe.
What I've learned through the curriculum is that it's important, sun safety is important. Even in the cloudy weather, doesn't matter what type of skin you have, when you go outside, that's important. And it's important to teach our children. Again, some of my staff weren't even aware of the importance.
Just like we teach them their ABCs, we can teach them the simple things of just putting sunscreen on, long sleeves, hats, glasses. You know, it's preventing the sun from giving them skin cancer, so it's helping them out, you know, and it's giving them new habits to learn for each and every day.
Whenever we're outside, and sometimes when the sun is not out and it's cloudy outside, we still have to wear our long shirts and our sunscreen and our hats and our sunglasses, because sometimes the sun can shine through the clouds and give us all a sunburn. So
With this curriculum, I have noticed that more parents are bringing in extra protection. They're bringing in more sunscreen for us to apply. They're bringing in hats, sunglasses, more protective clothing. I have noticed that there's been an increase of parents who have applied sunscreen at home and tell us that, oh, my child's already had it put on, and they're taking care of it.
Don't I look awesome? Yeah! And I've got my long sleeves. Yeah! I got my hat.
Children are learning that being out in the sun without protective gear is harmful, and we had a child here who talked to his father, who is an athlete who runs outside all the time, that he doesn't want his dad to go out without being protective because he's worried about him. And so it's kind of fun that the kids are actually learning this impact that they have and how they want to protect their parents also, not just themselves.
Preschool center directors and teachers may face a number of challenges. To help preschools, MD Anderson has created a teacher's guide, policy templates, as well as materials for parents. MD Anderson also is available to provide guidance to your center and answer your questions about skin cancer and sun safety.
The policy template will help us a lot. We're not doing the research, so we're not the experts in everything. So I think it's important to allow experts to come in and give you that information, and then we could create policies around that information.
We've had a challenge here at the preschool with a lack of shade. So what we've been able to do is, through community volunteers, we were able to provide a tarp on part of our playground, which has worked great for us. We're trying to figure out different ways to tackle our shading issue outside. So my supervisor and I are actually trying to see about different grants on how to get a little bit better shading outside.
MD Anderson wants to help your preschool create a sun safety routine. Developing sun safety habits now can benefit children throughout their lives. For more ideas on how to use the MD Anderson Sun Safety Curriculum, please watch our other videos. Protect children's skin now to protect their future.
As we learned in the video, skin cancer is the most common type of cancer in the United States. It is estimated that 1 in 5 people will develop skin cancer in their lifetime. Anyone, regardless of skin color, can develop skin cancer. The number of new cases of melanoma, which is the most serious type of skin cancer, increases every year. Alarmingly, melanoma is also one of the most common cancers in adolescents and young adults. One person dies from melanoma every hour. There is good news, though. Skin cancer can be prevented, and you can help. The main preventable risk factor for skin cancer is exposure to ultraviolet or UV radiation from the sun or indoor tanning devices. There are two types of UV rays from the sun that can cause skin damage, UVA and UVB. For the UVA rays, these rays are present at mostly constant levels throughout the day. However, UVB rays peak in their intensity from the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the UVB rays are most harmful during that midday time, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. UVA and UVB rays from the sun and tanning beds can cause sunburn and other skin damage that can increase the risk of skin cancer. Having a sunburn during childhood is a major risk factor for melanoma. It is critical that children, parents, and teachers learn the importance of sun safety and develop sun protection habits now so that we can reduce their risk of skin cancer. It is also important for children's teachers and parents to be protected from the sun to reduce their skin cancer risk and model sun safety behaviors for children. As we learned earlier, Ray and the Sunbeatables have sun safety superpowers that help protect their skin and teach us to protect our skin from harmful UV exposure. These superpowers include covering up with protective clothing, using sunscreen and lip balm with an SPF of 30 or higher, finding and staying in the shade, and being super protected when the shadows are shorter, the sun is directly overhead, and the sun's rays are most harmful. It's important to use these sun safety superpowers every day and in every season, since the UV rays are present even on cold or on cloudy days. Let's talk about each sun safety superpower in a little bit more detail. Cover up as much skin as possible by wearing tightly woven clothing, wide-brimmed hats, and sunglasses. This will be your first layer of protection against the sun's UV rays. First, wear a wide-brimmed hat that shades your face, ears, and neck. Think about if you see children or adults wearing hats at your center. If so, think about what types of hats that you typically see and how protective they might be from the sun. An ideal wide-brimmed hat usually has at least a 4-inch brim. Let's take a look at some possible hat options now. A floppy hat is the most protective because it fully covers your head, neck, and ears. A bucket hat is the second most protective. The bucket hat brim does go all the way around the hat, but the brim is not as wide as that of the floppy hat or a wide-brimmed hat. Finally, the baseball cap is the least protective hat because it only shades your forehead and your eyes. However, there is a Legionnaire style of hat that has a brim like a baseball cap, but it also has a flap that covers the neck and ears. It is also an example of a more protective style of hat. In addition to hats, wear clothing that provides a lot of coverage, such as sleeved shirts, not tank tops, and long pants, knee-length or longer shorts, skirts, or dresses. Or you could wear rash guard clothing when playing outside or in the water. Don't forget your eyes. Try to shield your eyes by wearing sunglasses that block 99 to 100% of UV rays and wrap around the sides of your face. Most sunglasses will have a sticker or tag letting you know the percentage of UV protection they provide. Also, remember to protect your feet by wearing socks and tennis shoes. In addition to covering up as much skin as possible, it's important to remember to apply sunscreen to those portions of your skin that are exposed to the sun. Generously apply a broad spectrum sunscreen that protects against both UVA and UVB rays and has a sun protection factor of at least 30. Put sunscreen on all exposed area of the skin not already covered by your clothes. Also, remember to use lip balm with an SPF of 30 as well. To obtain the level of protection labeled on the sunscreen bottle, you will need to spread the sunscreen generously and evenly at least 30 minutes before going outside so that your skin can absorb it. Don't forget your nose, ears, neck, hands, and your feet. Once outside, it's important to reapply sunscreen every 1 to 2 hours, especially after sweating or swimming, because water and sweat can wash off the sunscreen. Now, we know it may be challenging to apply sunscreen to all of the children in your classroom before going outside. So it's important to find ways to make sunscreen application easier for you and more fun for the children. Try applying sunscreen during circle time or during center-based activities so that the children can have fun with other activities while you are putting on the sunscreen. You can also apply sunscreen while children are singing one of the sun safety songs provided in the curriculum. Also, encourage parents to apply sunscreen to their children before they come to school and to bring the sunscreen of their choice to school for their child. Can you think of other ways to make it easier or more fun to put on sunscreen in your classroom? When applying sunscreen, the general rule of thumb is to use at least 1 ounce of sunscreen to cover exposed areas of your skin. This is equivalent to the entire volume of a golf ball or enough sunscreen to fill a shot glass. You may need to adjust the amount of sunscreen that you apply depending on a person's weight or size and how much skin is covered by clothing. When in doubt, apply the sunscreen thoroughly and evenly on your skin because it is better to have more sunscreen than too little. Also, it is recommended that you keep babies out of the sun. When babies are outside, they should avoid any sun exposure. Babies should wear protective clothing such as wide-brimmed hats, sunglasses, long sleeves, and pants. Babies also should be protected with a shade cover to avoid any UV exposure. One note of caution before we continue. Do not apply sunscreen to babies under 6 months of age. Their skin is sensitive, and compared to older children and adults, babies have more skin surface area relative to their body weight. So babies may have increased exposure to the chemicals in the sunscreen, which may lead to an allergic reaction or other side effect. Remember, when outdoors, babies should stay in the shade and be covered up. Try to plan your outdoor activities in shaded areas and plan field trips to places that offer shade. We realize sometimes shade may not be available, so try to think of creative ways to make your own shade while at your preschool or on field trips. You could use umbrellas, tarps, tents, or really whatever material you might have on hand. Just remember, UV rays can also reflect off of surfaces, off of sand, concrete, or even light-colored walls or buildings. So you may be in the shade, but reflected UV rays can still reach your skin. Even in the shade, always protect your skin with multiple levels of sun protection, such as protective clothing, hats, sunglasses, and your sunscreen. Did you know that the length of your shadow can indicate when the sun is directly overhead and UV rays are more harmful? Shadows are longer during the early morning and late afternoon hours. During the midday hours, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., the sun is directly overhead and your shadows are shorter, or you might not have any shadow. Sunburn-causing UV rays are more intense and harmful at this time. So try to schedule outdoor activities during early morning or late afternoon hours if possible. It is important to be super protected if you will be outside during those midday hours by using as many forms of sun protection as possible. For example, sunscreen, protective clothing, hats, sunglasses, and finding shade. Just remember, sun protection is also important on cloudy days. UV rays can pass through the clouds and still cause skin damage and sunburn. It's important to remember that teachers and adults are role models for children. Kids learn so much by what they see adults do, not just by what adults tell them to do. In addition to teaching children about the Sunbeatable superpowers, try to be a sun safety role model so children can see that you think sun protection is important for yourself and for them. You will have a long-term and positive impact on their health. You can be a role model to children and their parents by practicing sun safety behaviors, such as applying sunscreen before you go outside or wearing protective clothing and a wide-brimmed hat in front of the children and parents. This also helps to create positive social norms about sun protection at your preschool, to communicate that we practice sun protection here and we're a Sunbeatables preschool. In addition to role modeling, positive reinforcement also increases kids' confidence in their abilities to perform the sun safety behaviors. With your participation, sun safety can be a fun and enjoyable experience for the children and yourself. Now that we've learned about the basics of sun safety, I'm going to turn it over to Peter to take us through the Sunbeatables Toolkit.
Thanks, Joey. For this part of the training, we will discuss the Sunbeatables Toolkit components in some detail. First, we will discuss the curriculum book. The curriculum book contains a teacher's guide and 5 units. Each unit includes 4 activities. A Sun Safety Song CD is also included in the inside cover of the curriculum book. The CD contains 4 sun safety songs that you can use throughout the curriculum to engage the children during circle time or transition time, for example. The curriculum is divided into 5 units, and each unit includes 4 activities for a total of 20 activities. Activities aligned with the following areas of content learning adapted from the Head Start Child Development and Early Learning Framework. Creative arts expression, language development, literacy, knowledge and skills, science knowledge and skills, mathematics knowledge and skills, and social studies knowledge and skills. For your reference, an alignment matrix is included in the curriculum book and here on the slide. The matrix shows the content learning area for each activity. For example, the Sun Safety songs align with the creative arts expression area of content learning. The curriculum promotes the use of all sun protection behaviours, every day and everywhere, to be maximally protected. While each unit highlights specific sun safety behaviours for emphasis, the units also reinforce all 5 sun safety behaviours. In Unit 1, children will meet Ray and the Sunbeatables and be introduced to the overall concept of sun safety. In Unit 2, children will learn about the importance of sunscreen and other sun safety behaviours. In Unit 3, children will learn about shadows and playing in the shade. In Unit 4, children will learn about the need for protective clothing when they are outside. And finally, in Unit 5, children will review and practice all of the sun safety protection behaviours they have learnt in the previous units. Each unit also includes a preparation table that provides an overview of each unit's activities, including the content learning areas, an activity description, materials needed, and suggestions for connecting with Sunbeatables parents. Sample questions and teacher tips are provided throughout the curriculum to help you make sure that children understand the concepts. This information will help you discuss sun safety with children. Next, we will discuss the curriculum activities folder. A few of the items included in the folder are displayed on this slide. In the left side of the folder, you will find 4 posters. Are You Unsafe? The song lyrics poster. Even Superheroes Stay Safe poster. Be Sun Safe Every Day and Everywhere. And We Are a Sunbeatables school poster. In the right side of the binder, you'll find Sun Safe sorting activity, which is used in activity 5.1. A travel book template, which is another activity, 5.4. The Sunbeatables graduation certificate, which you would use at the end of teaching the curriculum. Ray and the Sunbeatables puppet cutouts for our very first activity and used throughout the curriculum activities. And a black and white character templates used throughout the curriculum as needed. For this portion of the training, Joey will highlight a few activities from the curriculum. While we may adapt some of the activities to meet children's needs, always ensure that an activity sun safety concepts are taught completely and according to the lesson.
Thank you, Peter. Let's start with activity 4.1 from the curriculum, which is the clothing flashlight test. This activity helps you and your students identify sun-safe clothing. Tightly woven fabrics do a better job of preventing UV rays from reaching your skin. If you can see light shining through a fabric, then that fabric is loosely woven and UV rays can still reach your skin. If you cannot see the light shining through the fabric is more tightly woven and can better protect your skin from the UV rays. As a result of this activity, children will be able to demonstrate the types of clothing that protect skin from the sun and also discuss the sun safety superpower of protective clothing and hats. For this activity, you will need several types of clothing items and a flashlight. You could ask for volunteers to come forward and stand at the front of the room, giving one volunteer a flashlight and the other volunteer could hold the clothing items. While one volunteer holds up one of the clothing items, the other will stand behind the garment and hold the flashlight at least 3 to 4 inches from the garment. You would then ask the rest of your class to observe whether or not they see light shining through the fabric. Remember, if light can be seen through the fabric, then the fabric is loosely woven and not as sun-safe. If the light cannot be seen through the fabric, then the fabric is tightly woven and more sun-safe. In this picture shown here, the article of clothing are a pair of dark pants. You will notice that you cannot see light shining through the fabric. This article of clothing is more sun-safe because it is tightly woven. It would provide better protection against the sun's UV rays. In this next picture, you can see for this fabric, the light is shining through the shirt. Think about what this might mean. If you look closely, the article of clothing appears to be loosely woven and there are not any sleeps. This shirt does not provide good protection against the sun's UV rays. Last but not least, you do not see light shining through this article of clothing. The item shown here is actually a rash guard shirt. A lot of times you will find children wearing this type of shirt while swimming or engaging in some type of water activity. Usually these shirts have extra UV protection against the sun's rays. The next activity we will discuss is Serena's Sunscreen Experiment, which is activity 2.1. This activity demonstrates why it is necessary to reapply sunscreen after swimming or sweating. As a result of this activity, children will be able to demonstrate why sunscreen needs to be reapplied, understand that they should reapply any sunscreen they use, regardless of the type of brand or the SPF protection, and discuss the sunscreen as a superpower. Emphasize to kids that we need to apply sunscreen before we go outside and also to reapply sunscreen often, especially after sweating or swimming. For this activity, you will need several different types of sunscreen, several clear water cups, and a large bowl to hold some water in. In photo 1, you can see that the teacher is applying a visible film of sunscreen to the outside of the drinking cup. She would then fill that drinking cup partially with water and then place it into the bowl. This is being done in photo 2. In photo 3, you can see her swirling the cup of water in the larger bowl for a minute or two. What you will see happening is that the sunscreen should begin to wash off the glass, showing how sunscreen is washed off when a person is sweating or swimming. The next activity we'll go over is 3.1, Are Our Shadows Long? This activity actually works best on clear, sunny days. As we've mentioned earlier, during early morning and late afternoon, shadows are longer. During midday, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., the sun is directly overhead, shadows are shorter, or there might not be a shadow. Sunburn-causing UV rays are more intense and harmful at this time. If your shadow is shorter than you are, or you have no shadow, remember to be super protected by covering up, using sunscreen, and finding shade. As a result of doing this activity, kids will be able to demonstrate how their shadow length can indicate the time of day when the sun's rays are more harmful. They will also be able to discuss the sun safety superpowers of shade and being super protected when shadows are shorter. There will be little to no shadow during the middle of the day when the sun is directly overhead and the sun's rays are more harmful. If you must go outside during these hours, it is best to be super protected and use as many of the sun safety strategies as possible, such as covering up with protective clothing, wearing hats and sunglasses, using your sunscreen, and also finding shade. Depending on the outdoor area available at your preschool and whether there is a sidewalk, also whether on the day that you plan to do the activity, you might need to adapt this activity. For this activity, you would take the children outside in the morning before 10 a.m., or you could do it late in the afternoon after 4 p.m. on a sunny day. You would pair the kids up and ask them to find their shadows. Have one child stand still, or they could hold a funny pose, while the other child traces his or her shadow with sidewalk chalk. Then You would ask the children to switch places. Be sure to remember to label each shadow with the child's name and the time of day you're doing the activity. You would then repeat the steps we just went over at midday. You would ask the kids to draw over their existing shadow outlines using different colors of chalk so that they can compare their different shadow lengths. It's important to remember to have the kids stand in the same spot as they did earlier so that they will be able to compare their shadows. You should find that there will be little or no shadow in the midday time, and the shadows will be longer before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. Be sure and talk to the kids during this activity and ask them what their shadows look like. Be sure to link it that the sun's rays are more harmful when shadows are shorter. They are shorter when the sun is high in the sky and directly overhead. Highlight the importance of coming inside or playing in the shade and using all their sun safety superpowers when they see that their shadows are shorter. The last activity we'll go over is making a sun-safe hat, which is activity 4.2. This activity engages children and asks them to create their own protective hats. As a result of this activity, kids will be reminded that wide-brimmed hats shade the face, ears, and neck from the sun's rays. They will also be able to identify the types of hats that are sun-safe or not sun-safe. For this activity, you will need several sheets of double-fold newspaper for each child. You will also need a stapler and packing tape or duct tape. Colorful or decorative duct tape is recommended. As you can see in photo 1, you would give each child 3 to 4 pages from the newspaper. Stack the papers on a flat surface so that the points are alternating. Next, you would align the stack of papers over the center of the child's head, shape the papers to fit the child's head. Then you would make a hat band by circling the tape around the newspaper directly above the child's eyes. This is being done in photo 2. You would then remove the hat and scrunch the edges of the paper to make a nice round brim. Be sure to leave at least 4 inches from the band to the end of the brim. Next, you would staple around the edges of the brim so that it is rounded with no remaining points. This is being shown in photo 3. Last, you could ask the kids to decorate their hats. They can use markers, crayons, or any other art supplies you might have available. You could even ask kids to model their completed hats in the classroom or outside. Perhaps you could have a fashion show so each child could walk down the runway or step into the middle of the circle while you described his or her hat to the group. To recap the curriculum activity examples and showcase additional activities, let's watch a video of the activities in action.
MD Anderson Cancer Center has developed a curriculum to teach children about sun safety and to help teachers communicate the importance of sun safety to parents. Hi, my name is Lucy. In this curriculum, children meet superhero characters who travel around the world using their superpowers of sun protection. You can learn more about the characters and their superpowers in the curriculum and your teacher's guide. Let's watch how preschool center directors and teachers are using this curriculum to help children develop sun safety habits.
Are you sun safe? Are you sun safe?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm wearing sunscreen. I'm wearing sunscreen. sunscreen, yay for me, yay for me.
Are you sun safe? Are you sun safe?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I am wearing my shades. I am wearing my shades. Yay for me. Yay for me. Serena says, put on your hat. Our hat protects our head from the sun. Serena says, put on your sunscreen so we can protect our face and our neck and our arms and our legs. Serena says, put on your sunglasses. Our sunglasses protect, what do they protect? Our eyes from the sun. Serena says, show me how you put on a long sleeve shirt to protect our arms. Yes, Mila, protect our arms. We have to protect our arms. Serena says, put on your pants. Show me how you put on your pants. They protect our legs, right? Good job. Serena says, pretend we're under the shade. When there's too much sun, we go under the shade, right? To protect our bodies from the sun. Good job.
Oh, look at those shadows. See how large your shadows are this time of the morning? This is the best time of the day to be out. Notice the height of the shadows, see? Let me see. Let me see a statue. Make a statue. How about I try?
The shadow rule was really great. It really taught us that when you go out in the morning time, your shadow is taller, and that would be a safer time to go out and play because the sun's rays are not that harmful to our skin versus when you go out in the mid-afternoon, your shadow is shorter and the sun rays are more harmful to our skin.
Okay, guys, wow, look at the difference in our shadows from this morning. See how much smaller they are? When we came out this morning, our shadows was full and long. Compared to this morning until now, coming out at around noon, look at the difference in the shadows. That means that the sun rays are now more harmful than this morning. So we have to be cautious about coming out at this time of the day and to make sure that we're protected and keeping it safe.
I spy a sun-safe superpower that protects your head. What protects your head that's here? Where is it? A hat. That protects our head, right?
Yeah.
Good job. I spy a sun-safe superpower that protects your eyes. What is it? The sunglasses. Yeah, good job. I spy a sun-safe superpower that protects our legs. What do we put on that protects our legs? What is it? All right. Get back, get back, get back. It's the sunscreen and the pants, right? We put them on to protect our legs, right? I spy a sun-safe superpower. Yeah, listen, that we put on and it protects our arms. What is it? The long sleeve shirt, right? Kind of like mine or Layla's or Mila's, right? Now, I spy a sun-safe superpower that we use to put on our face and our arms and our legs to protect us from the sun. What is it? The sunscreen. Yeah, good job.
Remember when the sun comes out and it makes shaded areas, right? Okay, now we are going to do our shade game. All right, go find shade. Find shaded areas.
I found shade.
Did everybody find shade?
They really enjoyed going from shaded area to shaded area, and they were really proud of themselves. And now when we go outside to play, they tend to look for the shaded areas to play in.
Great job for finding shade.
So let's see what happened to the sunscreen when it goes in the water. Do you see the water? The water is very, very clear.
Watch. You can see where the water is getting cloudy. And when you get in the pool, you will see the sunscreen come off the body into the water.
It's getting cloudy.
Yes, it is cloudy. We sweat and we swim, it comes off. If you take a nap and you go back outside to play, what you need to do with your sunscreen? Reapply it. So you have to tell your parents you need to have sunscreen so you can reapply it on your skin so you can do what to your skin?
So it doesn't get sunburned.
So you won't get sunburned, that's right.
What are these? Okay, Alana, I want you to hold them up and I want you to walk like this. When we get outside, you hold it up high so people know that you wear your shades to be sun safe.
I'm gonna put them on my eye.
Okay, and what is this? A hat. And it protects our head. Here, Jackson, when we get outside, I want you to raise it up so people can see it. Oh, what's this?
Umbrella.
It makes our own shade. Miles, you can take the umbrella. And what is this? A shirt. And why? Is this a sun-safe shirt?
Yes.
All right. This says, I love sun. I am sun-safe. Yes, I am. Sun-safe. Yes, I am. I am sun-safe. Yes, I am.
What I really liked most about the activities throughout the curriculum were that they were so easy to follow. Sometimes we have activities that are meant for older kids and we have a hard time bringing it down to a toddler level. But with this, it was just so easy to make it so that even the younger kids could have fun as well as the older kids.
MD Anderson's Sun Safety curriculum can be incorporated into your schedule at different times of the day, such as circle time, small group time, outdoor play, center time, and story time. Sing the songs during transition time. Connect with parents during arrival and pickup times. Refer to your teacher's guide and curriculum for activities, parent connections, and more. Remember to be a role model, be creative, and make it fun.
Now that we have gone through some of the curriculum activities and you've been able to view some of them in action, let's think a little bit about how you might implement the activities in your classrooms. For Serena's Sunscreen Experiment, think about whether or not you would break up the class into different groups, or you might have multiple stations engaging in the activity at once. Perhaps it would work better to demonstrate the activity and ask the children to gather around a table or a water table as shown in the presentation earlier. To further engage with kids, you might ask kids to apply the sunscreen to the cup themselves and swirl it around. Perhaps they could take turns as well. For the RR Shadows Long activity, think about when your classes typically go outside. Would you be able to take your class outside before 10 a.m. to see their shadows? Again, would you be able to complete this activity during the middle of the day to show the class the differences in their shadow length? For the Making a Sun-Safe Hat activity, it might be helpful to ask parents to bring in newspaper to school for their child. Think about how you might work with children in your classroom to make the sun-safe hats. Could this activity be incorporated into a school event or other curriculum activities? How might you encourage the children to decorate their hats? Lastly, think about how you would integrate the curriculum activities into your daily schedules. Remember that these activities can be incorporated throughout the day. For example, complete a science experiment during large group or circle time. Play the finding shade game or look for children's shadow when you're engaged in outdoor play. Or provide sun safety items for children to explore during center time. Last but not least, Peter is now going to discuss the remaining component in the curriculum.
Thanks, Joey. A parent materials folder is also included in the toolkit. Parent involvement is an integral part of the curriculum. It's important to engage parents from the beginning of the curriculum implementation, to inform them about what you are teaching in the classroom and keep them updated throughout the process. The parent materials folder contains the following: a curriculum introduction letter, parent education flyer, which provides role modeling stories of featured Sunbeatables parents, parent communication letters, there are 7 different activities, and a parent note card template. Please note that all the parent materials are also available in Spanish. Another feature of the curriculum specifically targeted to parents is the dry erase decal. This can be used to remind parents about what you are teaching in the classroom about sun safety, to ask parents to bring sunscreen for use during the day and on field trips, and to remind parents to dress their child up in protective clothing, to name a few ideas. Lastly, a Ray Sun Safety stamp and ink pad are included in the toolkit to be used throughout the curriculum to keep children engaged and remind parents that their children are learning about sun safety in the classroom. Encourage the children to show their stamp to their parents. The stamp also can be used on parent communications, such as curriculum letters that are sent home. Use the stamp to remind parents to bring sun safety items to school for their children. The curriculum includes an introduction letter for parents that explains the Sunbeatables program. The letter asks parents to bring sun safety items to preschool and for their children's use, and also encourages parents to practice sun safety at home. This letter can be placed in the preschool registration or enrollment packets for new children and parents. This letter can also be sent out during Unit 1 of the curriculum to reinforce the concepts of sun safety and the importance of the program. Use various communication methods to explain to parents and families why sun protection is important for their children's health and well-being. Some examples include verbal communication. Ask parents to serve as a Sunbeatable superhero or sun safety champion. Remind parents to bring sunscreen, protective clothing, wide-brimmed hats, and sunglasses for outdoor play and field trips. Encourage parents and families to get involved and reinforce sun protection at home. Using daily reports. If daily reports are for parents are standard at your centre, add a section to the note about the time children spend outside. Add notes about the curriculum activities and or sun safety concepts taught to the children. Use the Ray and Sunbeatables note card template available in the parent folder of the toolkit. Parent letters. A curriculum introduction letter is provided in the parent folder of the toolkit and at the beginning of Unit 1. Place this letter in your preschool registration packet and send it home when you begin teaching the curriculum. Also, send home the parent letters that are designed for specific curriculum activities to encourage family discussion of sun safety. The email. Take photos of children during the curriculum activities or take photos of completed curriculum projects to send in an email or share in a newsletter to parents. Send an email to parents informing them of the week's sun safety superpower, and send sun safety tips to parents in an email or newsletter. The bulletin board. Post completed activities or photos of the children's activities on the school bulletin board. Display the provided Sunbeatables posters on the bulletin board and throughout the school for more visibility. Utilise the school website or social media. Post weekly or daily sun safety tips reminding parents to be sun-safe role models at home. Post photos of completed curriculum activities to showcase the school's commitment to sun safety. And post instructions for curriculum games children play at home, that they can play at home with their parents they learn at school. As educators, you play a crucial role in shaping your children's habits. However, it's extremely important to engage the primary role models in your students' lives, their parents. Next, we will watch a video about connecting with parents.
I think it's really important for parents who are super duper busy and it seems like they just don't have any more time to make that one extra minute, to say, let's put on sunscreen, or I'm going to take the sunscreen to the daycare and let them help you put it on. And it's important for the child to be able to say to the parent, hey mom, guess what I learned today in class? Can I start bringing a hat to school or some sunglasses, or maybe I need to bring a long sleeve shirt when I go out because I learned this today. And kids start talking about that stuff around 3 years old. Even though we start teaching it to them at a younger age, they start really verbalizing and coming up with their own opinions.
Hello, I'm Lucy. MD Anderson Cancer Center is excited to work with your preschool to educate children and parents about sun safety. MD Anderson's curriculum includes parent connections for each activity, and teachers are encouraged to ask parents to support sun safety. Listen to these center directors and teachers as they talk about creative ways they have reached out to parents.
The parent connections in the curriculum help us engage with parents just in case we might not be able to really specify everything that we do about sun safety in the classroom, so we can send those home so they can read that and then a lot of times talk to their children about it, and if they have questions or suggestions, they can also come to us so that we can help better our sun safety behaviors in the classroom.
We've had challenges in communicating with some of our parents only because of the work schedule that they have. So we've managed to be able to communicate with them and let them know that it is important, even if we're just going for 30 minutes.
We like to encourage parents to participate, specifically by maybe leaving notes inside of their cubbies, or if we don't have time to speak to each parent, we like to leave, for example, a bright yellow paper in front of the sign-in sheet so they have to see it, where it might say, we're going to be going out daily, please bring your sunscreen if you want us to apply it, or some sunglasses or a hat.
As far as engagement with parents on sun safety and different policies and procedures within the facility, we have our parent handbook. We also do multiple ways. We may do an e-blast, we may do a phone blast, we do letters home, postings, pretty much every way that you can hit them as far as communication. We try to do that because everybody's various communications are different nowadays.
When we were working with the parents, we do let them know what we let the kids know. The sun, can be dangerous even if it's cloudy. So when working with parents, we ask the parents to help with sunglasses or hats or long sleeves so we can allow the kids to play safely.
The teachers communicate with me and other parents on sun protection by sending home letters, by reminding us as we pick the kids up in the afternoons, and also by educating the children, so that really the children are our biggest reminder, because they'll, at the end of the night, Mommy, make sure you have my sunscreen, or in the morning, make sure you have my sunscreen.
I ensure that my daughter is sun safe at school by making sure that she has the sunscreen application, and they do it at school as well, that we have the hat and the sunglasses and she's wearing the correct clothing. We even go as far at home where she sits there and goes, Mommy, I have to have sunglasses and a hat so she doesn't get hurt.
We are currently protecting the children by being role models, by educating not only the children but the parents as well, talking with the parents about the sunscreen and hats and sunglasses. We really had a great time singing the songs. The kids really loved it. They went home and sang the songs to their parents, so they really enjoyed it, so their parents were educated as well.
Sometimes it may be challenging to reach parents, given hectic schedules and competing demands. But it's so important for preschool center directors and teachers to continue to work with parents to help children develop sun protection habits. Talk to parents, be encouraging, and make sun safety a priority.
As previously discussed, sun safety posters featuring Ray and the Sunbeatables are provided with your curriculum. Display the sun safety posters, the Ray and Sunbeatables dry erase decal, and program signage throughout the center to increase the visibility of sun safety in your school. Next, think about sun safety policies at your school. Do you have any policies in place? If not, think about how you may be able to use policies to support sun protection at your preschool. Example policies include requiring sun protection during outdoor play and field trips, educating children and training preschool staff about sun safety, and communicating with parents about sun safety. A Sunbeatable sun protection policy template is also provided in the curriculum and training guide for a resource reference. We recommend that you complete the entire curriculum in the summer. You can be flexible in scheduling the activities throughout the summer, such as completing one activity per day over the course of 5 weeks, or completing 2 activities per week over the course of 10 weeks. Some activities can be repeated more frequently, such as singing the sun safety songs during transition times or when preparing to go outside. If your center does not operate in the summer, complete the curriculum during the school year and schedule so that you can teach and review sun safety concepts before the summer break. Incorporate activities into any health or safety curriculum you may already be teaching. The activities may be adapted for circle time and other daily scheduled activities. Even short conversations with children about their weekend or the weather are opportunities to mention how they can be sun safe every day in all types of weather. Repeat activities throughout the year to reinforce the importance of year-round sun protection. The curriculum guide contains more examples of how and when to teach the curriculum. For example, at arrival time, apply sunscreen to the children if they don't have sunscreen applied already, and take the opportunity to talk with parents about sun safety. During circle time or small group time, complete a curriculum activity. Incorporate sun safety into circle time discussions. Joey is now going to conduct a practice activity.
Thank you, Peter. The activity we're going to do involves a sample scenario that you might face at your preschool with parents about sun safety and sunscreen use and how you might address those challenges and barriers that could arise from the situation. I will read through the sample scenario, and I'm going to ask you to think about how you have approached or would plan to approach this type of situation. Then, recommendations will be provided on how such scenarios at your preschool might be addressed. A full list of possible scenarios and recommendations are included in your curriculum training guide. The background for this particular scenario is that summer is approaching and your preschool recently decided to start a sun safety program. As part of the program, the school has asked parents to bring in sunscreen and other sun safety items, like wide-brimmed hats, long-sleeved shirts, and sunglasses, to the preschool for their children. The scenario is, as parents are picking up their kids at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to remind parents to bring in sunscreen and other sun safety items. While some parents are enthusiastic about the program and say they will bring in sun safety items the next day, others are not so enthusiastic. One parent even says that she will not bring any of the items. She also specifically asked you and the staff not to apply sunscreen to her child. Think about, have you ever faced this type of scenario? Could you imagine facing this type of scenario? Let's talk through the scenario and how you could best respond to parents given the situation. Think about how you would respond to parents who are enthusiastic and say they will bring in items but never do. The following recommendations may help you reach these parents that never bring in the items. Perhaps you could follow up with parents who have not yet brought in the items after a day or two. Mention that other parents have been bringing in items that you would like their children to also have accessible at the preschool. Remind parents daily or even weekly about the importance of sun safety and the need for sun safety items to protect their children's skin to reduce the risk of skin damage that can lead to skin cancer. Also, think about how you would respond to the parents who are not enthusiastic about the program. How would you, as a teacher or center director, emphasize the need for sun safety to these types of parents? Some suggested responses. Remind parents that it is key to teach children sun protection now so that their kids can develop healthy habits at a young age. Explain that sun safety now will protect their children's skin and reduce their chances of getting skin cancer later. Emphasize the importance of bringing in sun safety items so that their children can be sun safe with the other children. Emphasize to parents that skin cancer is the most common type of cancer in the United States and that anyone, regardless of skin color, can develop skin cancer, including melanoma, which is the most serious type. Remember, melanoma is one of the most common forms of cancer diagnosed in older adolescents and young adults. Finally, let's think about how you would respond to the parent who said she will not bring in any of the items. How would you emphasize to her the need for parents to bring in the sun safety items? How would you respond to her request that you not apply sunscreen to her child? Perhaps you could ask the parent what her concerns are about bringing in the sun safety items for use on the playground or on field trips. Emphasize to this parent the need for sun safety items to protect her child's skin and reduce skin cancer risk. Ask the parent what her concerns are about applying sunscreen to her child. If the parent is concerned about that her child might be allergic or sensitive to sunscreen, suggest she consult with her child's pediatrician for a sunscreen recommendation. Or she could apply hypoallergenic sunscreen to her child. Reflect on how other parents have resolved similar concerns and share those suggestions with this parent. It's important to create a sun protection action plan that you can use in the classroom and share with other teachers and staff members to address the potential situations described here and in the future. Now, let's think about your classroom routines and what your center is currently doing to be sun safe. It'll be time to consider what new routines, curriculum activities, and discussions you could add to further emphasize sun safety in your school. Here, a one-week sample action plan is provided. Sample activities cover the Unit 1 activities, doing one activity a day. Again, we'd like for you to think about ways that you could incorporate the curriculum activities into your daily schedule for ease of implementation. We recommend that you actually write down your ideas and planning strategies in the action planning template that's provided in your training guide. As you get started with Ray and the Sunbeatables, remember to be a role model. Be as creative as you would like with the program and make it fun. Now, thinking about next steps. We very much appreciate your attention and interest in sun safety. For your next steps, please click on the link in Bullet 1 to access your training evaluation form. Please note that your free curriculum kit will be sent to you once we have received your completed form. If you have any questions or would like additional support, please contact us at the email provided, sunbeatables@catchglobalfoundation.org. Other contact information, if you should need it, is displayed here. You can reach us via phone, email, or on the web. This concludes our training. Thank you for participating in the training activities. Remember, with this curriculum, you are teaching children and parents to start sun safety habits now to help reduce their risk of skin cancer in the future. You are now on your way to implementing the Sunbeatables curriculum. Once you have completed the curriculum in its entirety, you will join schools across the country in being a designated Sunbeatables school. Thank you and good luck.